Ladies and gentlemen, night one of WrestleMania is officially in the books, and oh my god, what a crazy WrestleMania this has already been. Night two is only going to be even crazier. Let's just hope they can keep up the tremendous momentum that they had starting tonight. Now, I'm recording this immediately after getting home from being at my parents' house where I watched WrestleMania. Fun fact, they also got a new puppy today, and she is adorable. So that's cool. I got to watch wrestling for 4 hours and hang out with a puppy. You really can't have a better night than that, in my opinion. But as these videos always go, spoilers ahead, especially since it did just barely happen. Tomorrow there will be one done on night 2 of WrestleMania, or if I decide to make it one video, I will just combine the two recordings. I don't know how I'm doing it yet, but we will see. But let's just jump right into this. Okay, so up first we had the Usos versus Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. And oh my god, this match was a pretty good start. Okay, I don't want to say it was perfect. I don't want to say it was a banger. It was, these four guys just doing what they do best. But that being said, there was a little mishap in the match. Rick Boogs did land awkwardly on his knee, causing a knee injury of some sort. I don't remember which one they said, because obviously there's multiple you can have. But they said he's going to be going into surgery within the next few days and getting it taken care of, and then he will be back shortly after. Thankfully, nothing too serious, and Rick Boogs, he's still very young, and he's a pretty tough guy. He's going to come back pretty quick, so that's good news. As far as the match itself goes, it was just classic Usos, classic Nakamura, just the four of them doing what they do best. So up next, match number 2 was Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin, or Baron Corbin, whatever you want to call him. And this match was pretty good. I really like this. Everything about Drew McIntyre is just very, very epic, and it's almost cinematic, everything that he does. And then you add that into the speed and the quickness and the cunningness that Baron Corbin has. And then you also add in Madcap Moss as his little goon at the ringside. I should know these lingos. I wrestle. But with Madcap Moss at ringside, they were able to do some really cool stuff there. He essentially costed Corbin the match, but who cares? It was entertaining. It really doesn't matter, even though it was a little weird the way they did it. But I mean, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. And of course, at the end, Drew McIntyre, he takes his sword, goes to hit Madcap Moss. I have to call him Riddick Moss. Madcap Moss is the dumbest name ever. Riddick Moss. He hits Riddick Moss with the sword, but he moves out of the way. So Drew McIntyre slices the top 2 ropes in half, and almost the third, but it hit on the edge of the ring, so it hit it just right that it couldn't cut through all 3. But that was pretty cool. I did not expect them to do that, and that was pretty cool. Next up, we had the Mysterios versus The Miz and Logan Paul. And I don't know. I mean, come on. It's 3 guys who were pretty much born in wrestling rings. And then you got Logan Paul, who's the fresh guy, so you really got to make an impression, especially after Bad Bunny's performance last year at WrestleMania, where he absolutely killed it. Also, which I just realized now, also happened to be against The Miz, and it also was a tag team match. Funny enough, but this match, again, it was just, these guys just doing what they do best, but I feel like in this one they really went the extra mile. They hit every move, but they added new stuff in. They got to showcase Logan Paul, and Logan did really well. It's not like, they had to carry him. It's like, I'm sure they helped him a lot, but, I mean, I don't know. I think he did really well, and I hope to see him back, and especially with the Miz skull-crushing finaleing him after the match during their celebration. I see this feud having a lot of potential, and I see this being Logan Paul's next venture, because not that he shouldn't keep boxing, but I think there's way more potential for him with pro wrestling. And I mean, yeah, boxing helped him get his foot in the door with wrestling, but I think wrestling is a place where he could really flourish, and I think it would be really cool for him to add that to his arsenal, because he has so many things under his belt, and you may as well just throw in pro wrestling, because why not? But yeah, like I said, I don't know. The match was just really, really good. It was just, everything was smooth. I don't think they hit a single move wrong. It looked like there was a couple of spots that were a little iffy, but they still worked. They were just like just not quite 100%, like 95%. There was just that little bit that could have been cleaned up a little, but I think for the most part they all did really well. Next up, we had Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship, and I think that this story has been developing really well. So Becky, obviously, she took time off after, I can't remember if it was, no, it was Money in the Bank 2020, I believe, and she announced that she was pregnant. So she had relinquished the belt to Asuka, and she had taken time off. We hadn't seen her in forever. And she came back at SummerSlam and beat Bianca Belair in like 10 seconds for the belt. I didn't like the way they did that, but, it's like, yeah, you know what, it is what it is. No big deal, nothing worth, throwing a fit over. But, obviously they've kind of been going back and forth. The story's been building, the personal attacks, all the hair whips that in that one segment from Bianca, which just, I don't know what would be worse, a hair whip or a chop. I genuinely don't know which is worse, and trust me, chops are brutal. I should know. I've taken some bad ones. But this match had a lot of high spots. It was really, really good. Everything was so, everything was so fluent. It's just two people going in doing what they do best. And I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but it really is, it is what it is, It's true. They go in there and they just work their asses off and they kill it. Everything hit so perfectly, and like the ending was so out of nowhere, but it worked. It was so well done. I love good storytelling, especially when you can throw the story into the match and not just have it be people fighting, And that's where pro wrestling kind of has the advantage over MMA, in my opinion. Obviously, it's a very biased opinion, but I don't know. The fact that we can tell a story while we're fighting, I think that makes it 10 times more interesting and way more fun, way easier to buy into. And that's what they did here, and it ended up being such a just really, really good match. Now, next up, we had hands down the single greatest moment of the night, and arguably in pro wrestling history. Now, what is this match that I am referring to? Seth Rollins versus his mystery opponent, who was revealed to be? Who? It was the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and oh my god, it was so cool to see him back. I mean, obviously everybody saw it coming a mile away with all the speculation and everything, and and him blatantly, like not specifically saying it, but it was pretty blatant that he was leaving AEW, and it's like, where else is he going? It's WrestleMania. Rollins has a mystery opponent. Like, it just fits together way too perfectly to not be the full picture. And even though we saw it coming a mile away, my heart was racing the entire match, the entire build up to the match. As soon as I hear there's only one royal family, I was like, oh boy, it's about to go down. I as soon as I heard that hit, I knew it was him, and I was like, thank God they had it be him. Because there's a lot of ways they could have screwed it up, especially with all the hype around it, and I was just like, please do not do this. Like, just have it be Cody. And they did. And it was great. And you know what? I don't understand why anybody would sign with AEW or with WWE anymore, but knowing Cody, the career he had in WWE before, the life he's had on the indies, he's going to only sign a contract that he is good with. He would not have signed a contract if he wasn't getting buco bucks and, creative freedom for promos and probably have a say in the matches he's doing, the people he's fighting. It seems like a very AJ Styles type of contract, like one where they probably had to spend a pretty ridiculous amount of money to pull him from Ring of Honor and Impact and everywhere to come to WWE to begin with. It seems like it's going to be very much one of those where it's a big money contract for a big name where they get to essentially oversee it. And I don't know that Styles gets to do that, but why wouldn't he? Especially at this point with his new contract, that it's like, at this point, it makes sense for it to be that way for him. And I see it being the same way for Cody. because I refuse to believe he would have signed if it wasn't for that. Especially with the whole Stardust thing, how it ended on bad terms, and then him throwing out the cartwheel and the hand thing from Stardust. It was awesome to see that match, and this was hands down match of the night. And there's only one reason that it wasn't the main event, which I'll get to in just a minute. But I don't know. This could have been main event for night 2, honestly, like the actual main event, and it was awesome. Every single move was perfect in the match. The story was fantastic. Every single thing that could have gone right went right. It was perfect from top to bottom. Everything around the match too, not just the match. Throwing Odu, his father, Dusty Rhodes. He did a few moves of his father's during the match. He hit several crossroads. Took a shit ton of punches and slaps to the back. He took the forearm, the rolling elbow or whatever, the forearm, I can't remember which it was, to the back of the neck, which is always a fucking painful move, because guess what? You can't see it coming. So it's not going to be easy. There's no way to brace for impact, and God, they really beat the shit out of each other, and it was just an awesome match. If someone asked me what a perfect match is, I would say that match, and I would say if any match is deserving of a 5-star rating, it was that match. It was a clean match, no weapons, nothing, just two technical wrestlers technically wrestling to the best of their ability and just tearing the whole damn house down. And it was just phenomenal. Next, we had the worst match on the card. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Yeah, this match sucked. It was bad. It was straight up bad. It was fine. I won't say it was straight up bad. I will say it was fine, but nothing more than fine. It was not good, but it wasn't bad. The problem is the story. The match was too quick to tell the story they needed to tell. The story itself was very weak and very generic, and something we've also seen 1,000 times. WrestleMania 35 was Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. We've already seen these two face off 1,000 times. The moves are the same. There was a few new ones thrown in there, like the top rope arm drag. That was really cool. I actually really dig that move. But, I mean, aside from a few moves here and there, everything was pretty boring and generic. And, and the crowd wasn't into it, and because they were tired, and when the crowd's not into it, you as a viewer from home is going to be way less into it. I felt like it had so much hype that it should have been so much more. And thank God it wasn't the main event. I thought it was. I'm really glad it wasn't. And the reason for that is because our main event was I'm not going to say the best match of the night. By a long shot, it was not the best match. But it was a pretty damn good match. It was pretty friggin' entertaining. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens. Everybody knew it wasn't going to be for the KO show. They could start it as a promo for the KO show, but everybody knew it was going to be a match. I said to my father, who completely agreed, I said, if he comes out and he's got knee pads and knee braces on, or jean shorts, or some combination, he's having a match. And he did. And I'm really, really glad that he did, because it's like, there's no reason to bring him out during the time of the card that they did to not have him wrestle. And, like, I get it, the whole WWE's bringing back part-timers thing and all that shit, but, like, come on, it's Stone Cold. The dude can still go. He could still go. Matter of fact, he took Kevin Owens for a ride. And I don't think for a second that Kevin carried him through that match. I think 100% they were very evenly matched. And I also love that one stunner from Kevin Owens could not keep Stone Cold down, but one from Stone Cold could keep Kevin down. That was a very nice match, and it was really well done. The story around it was great. Kevin coming in during Raw with the 316 shirt and the bald cap, and I don't know. It was just classic wrestling. Classic wrestling. Kevin Owens being Kevin Owens, the comical douchebag that he can be. Because as good as he is as a good guy, he's way better as a bad guy. And he clearly has more fun. But Stone Cold, who is now forever a good guy because of being a legend now, it worked really well together. And I will say, Stone Cold taking concrete suplex bumps. Holy shit, that made me nervous. I figured it was gonna be fine. I figured, like in 2008, Bret Hart and Mr. McMahon, or Vince McMahon, whatever, they had a match, and Bret Hart didn't take a single bump, and it was fine. It was alright, but it was unnecessary, and it didn't really work the way that they'd hoped. And it was like, I really hope Stone Cold takes a couple of bumps, just because Stone Cold's not that type of guy. He's not going to come in for WrestleMania, especially for the main event, and half-ass it. He doesn't care what age he is, If he's going to sign that contract to wrestle at WrestleMania, he's going to put in his freaking all, And that's exactly what he did, so I don't know. It was a really well-done match. Overall, the show was really good. And then other than, of course, like I said, Charlotte and Ronda, which was okay. I mean, I enjoyed it. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be by any means. So that's why I criticize it. And I didn't write anything down. For the Royal Rumble, I wrote stuff down as the show went on. I really don't want to write stuff down. I want to just go off the top of my head. I actually spent 15 minutes trying to find the card, and I found it on WWE's Instagram story just so I had the right order for the video. So everything was sequential. And I didn't want to write it down because I didn't want to look at it too critically. Wrestling fans take things way too fucking seriously. They take it way too fucking seriously 99% of the time. Like you can just enjoy it. Even if it sucks. Find the good spots of it. Oh, the storyline's horrible. Oh, the ending of that match sucked. Well, how was the rest of the match? Or like, oh, this match sucked. Okay, well, how was the story around it? Did it work? So, and like I will say, with Ronda and Charlotte, it definitely served its purpose. There is not a question about that. It served its purpose. They hit their moves. They didn't screw anything up. At least not that I saw. It looked like everything was really clean. I just think that there was more that they could have done. I feel like there was more storytelling that they could have done. And I don't want to say it's bad, but I don't want to say it's good. So it was very middle of the road, but I have no problem saying I enjoyed it. But anyways, that was WrestleMania Night 1. I will be back with either another video for tomorrow for Night 2, or this will all be in one if I cut it together. I'm not sure, like I said, how I'm doing that yet, but I just wanted to, come home and really quickly, within a few minutes, just get it recorded so that I could have my first reactions up while they are fresh instead of doing it in the morning or something. And I get off work tomorrow right as WrestleMania starts. So I might leave a little early because it's overtime hours anyway, because I don't need to work from open to close on a Sunday, which I do. So I could just leave a little bit early, and that way I can catch it. But yeah, I will be back with either more in this video or a part 2 for Night 2. And I don't know. I'm really looking forward to Night 2. Styles versus Edge. We got the Raw Tag Team Championships. Got Austin Theory and Pat McAfee. That's going to be a good one. I'm really excited for that. We got Brock versus Roman, which I'm really, really praying here. Brock versus Roman. WrestleMania 34. That match was the main event, and it went on too long. There was way too many finishes. That match ruined the entire show for me. I loved that show almost from top to bottom. And then that match happened. And the way it ended was so dog shit that it pissed me off. And we've seen Roman and Brock a billion times. We've seen them main event a million times. We've seen them main event WrestleMania a million times. So what I'm really, really hoping here is that they do something different storytelling-wise. It's not just go and do 5 moves and be done. Do the same 5 moves 400 times, like they always do. I'm really, really hoping that they do something different. They go a different route. I'm hoping for Brock to win. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. I just really think there's a lot that they could do story-wise, especially with the whole Tribal Chief thing and Brock being now his most intimidating self and everything. I think that there's so much that they can do, that they should do, that I really hope it's not just a run-of-the-mill match being the main event, especially for unified titles. There's a lot they could do there to end the match. I hope there's not a lot of false finishes. I hope the finish isn't something stupid with the Usos or Paul Heyman. I really don't want to see that happen. It's gonna fucking happen, isn't it? I have hopes. I'm nervous, but I have hopes that they're gonna do something really good with it. This is a huge WrestleMania. A lot is happening. There's a giant card. So many big things are happening between today and tomorrow. I really think that they're going to do everything they can. They're not going to just put on a shitty run-of-the-mill match. I think they're going to really go above and beyond. What that means, I don't know yet, but we'll find out. But anyways, I have to go to bed because, like I said, I have to work tomorrow, and I still have to eat something before I go to bed because I ate very early in the day, so I'm hungry. I didn't actually, matter of fact, I didn't even eat dinner. I just kind of had some chips at my dad's house, and that was kind of it. So we'll pick back up tomorrow. Well, again, I don't know if it'll be the same video or not, but we'll see. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, tune in for tomorrow for the rest of it. And stay tuned for more content. I finally got my green screen set back up. So right now it is just kind of janky, but it's binder clips, and then I've got my stands for it. And it's just, there's two stands, so it's just pushed together right now. I will be using that. I have it set up. Thank God for that. I mentioned this in my 1 week on video of the apartment, which I have yet to upload, and it probably will go up once these have already been up. So if you hear me talk about that, just know that that was recorded beforehand. But anyways, that will do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more WrestleMania stuff, more WWE stuff, more gaming, especially WWE games. All that stuff in between vlogs, you know how it goes. Smash that like button, subscribe, you guys know all that shit. Go check out the episode 2 of the podcast if you haven't yet. It has officially been released. Check out episode 1 if you have not. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow.